Welcome. I'm good. How's your day going today?
It's good.
Good. Welcome to the Face Behind the Brand. I am your host, Monique Marie, and you are
Sonny Trill, of course.
Yes. So I'm so excited to have you here today. Compliments to my wonderful friend, Caitlin, lady. Just to be able to turn me on to your sound, and then of course link this connection so that it was all possible today. So I appreciate you taking the time.
Definitely shout out to Caitlin. That's my homie.
Yeah, appreciate her so much. So tell us all, who is Sonny Trill?
I am an artist from the south side of Chicago. I write songs. I'm just really a individual that just loves music and loves creating music. Pretty much, it's simple. Nothing too much about me except that.
Yeah, south side of Chicago. You're a recording. Of course, yeah. I have to give it all to you just in case they don't know.
Yeah.
You are a songwriter. You are a lyrical.
I try to be.
You're a singer, is what I've been discovering here. You actually have a
little note or two. Little note or two.
I can hear
assistance.
I can hear it.
Yeah.
And of course, you are again an amazing individual. The energy, the vibe, everything. So, talk to me about what's going on from 2020 to 2021, because you have been able to release some amazing sounds of a pandemic, like everybody else is, and you have come out with Good Life.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Good Life in the middle of course, this crazy life that we're all going through.
Yeah, so Good Life was really just a song I wanted to do to put like some good vibes into the atmosphere. I know like a lot has gone on in 2020, but I just feel like if you were able to make it to 2021, then I mean honestly that's a blessing in itself. So I just really wanted to put that type of energy out into the air and not put so much negativity out there. So I'm blessed to see 2021 because, like I said, a lot of people didn't make it. So, at the end of the day, despite everything that's going on, I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm able to do what I love. So life is good,
Well, you got something coming for us next week titled Eddie King. Talk to us.
Yeah. So Eddie King is a collaborative single I did with my homie RichDaPitt. We're actually working on a collaborative EP together. So Eddie King will be the first single off that project. So I'm super excited about that. Me and Rich have been making music together for years now. So this is our first collaborative project. So I'm really excited about it. Produced by my homie BeatsBySoliTaire. He's my manager / mentor too. So I'm really excited about it.
Produced by BeatsBy. Yeah. Wonderful sound. We got a snippet of that. So
yes.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. Let me circle back a little bit, because in 2019 you came out with an amazing sound called Finesse, and I got to post that. Talk to us about Finesse.
Finesse actually is me just coming into my own as an artist. I have been experimenting with different sounds for a while. I feel like Finesse was the finalizing of me finding like my sound, where I mix kind of like an auto-tune vibe, but also brings an element of lyricism to it, which is honestly what I've been working on for a while. But it takes time when you're trying to develop a sound. So I feel like Finesse is like me, what I'm saying, in a nutshell. So
well, it's definitely a banger. The lyrics
appreciate that.
I definitely dig. I got dig deep into your discography. I mean, you have a lot of sounds, a lot of songs.
Yes.
One that was very, of course, heartfelt for me was Diane.
Yes.
Honor and memory of your mother. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so my condolences.
Thank you.
Amazing song featuring, is it Mike?
Micah Estelle, yeah, that's my homie. I'm telling you, like, when I say she's up next, like, Micah is, oh my God. And it's easy to her. She gets in the booth. She's this little skinny little girl.
Yeah.
She thinks she ain't got nothing going on. She go in that booth and she turns into a whole nother person. She's incredible. Yeah, she's incredible. Definitely.
Yeah, well, amazing song, amazing tribute, Sonny. A beautiful song.
Thank you.
I mean, you just continue to grow. So, I mean, how would you say your music and your sound has grown since 2018, and now we are in the beginning of 2021?
Yeah, I think before I was really just a rapper. I would a lot of times I would I pick an industry beat just to rap over. I think now going from 2018 to now, I'm starting to really develop my sound and figure out who I am as an artist.
Mhm.
I'm also starting to take that leap and try new things. Before I was a little hesitant about doing things different because I was worried about what other people might say. Now I'm in a really healthy space where I just feel like I can create whatever, and if there's a sound that I want to experiment with, then I'm gonna just go for it. So I'm in a good space musically.
Producers, of course, and then of course, that's crucial. So talk to me about just a little bit. You mentioned Beats by Solitaire. I see he just walked to the building here.
Yes, yes. Shout out there. That I call him the OG. That's a mentor. He helps me with my management. He's pretty much I mean, he helps me go. He's a real big part of what I got going on. I mean, again, he just allows me to create. I come to him with a type of vibe or sound that I want to do, and he's able to just replicate that and produce that for me. There's also a producer I got familiar with. Actually, I met him online named Josh Petruccio. He produced Finesse, and we have a working relationship that's really good. So, I just really got a lot of good individuals around me.
Let's,
So yeah,
we'll
yeah.
talk to the generation, because there are people who will watch this, who are watching, who truly need to, of course, from an artist standpoint, how important that is, the energy, synergy that the people you're working with understand your artistry, so to speak.
Yeah. Just finding genuine relationships is hard enough in this industry. I know it's a lot of, fake stuff that goes on, but just being able to work with genuine individuals who really got your best interests at heart, I mean, that's a win for me at the end of the day. I really appreciate a lot of the people that I have around me. I feel like they're a huge part of, why I'm as far as I've gotten, and I feel like they're gonna help me, get even further.
Yeah,
So yeah, no, it's always good to have, just solid individuals around you. You
yeah,
gotta have it.
true, true. So tell me, who are some of your music interests, whether it be past or present?
Oh Jesus. Oh, it's a long list. As of right now, I'm really big on Kendrick Lamar and Travis Scott.
Yes.
Um, yeah, The Weeknd. Despite the allegations, I was a fan of, Tory Lanez music and his style. Um,
Mhm.
uh, Going back further, Outkast was a big influence on me. I got older siblings, so I got introduced to Bone Thugs and Harmony when I was a young kid. Tupac, of course, is always, an influence. I think he's influenced the entire generation. So, those are some of the, G Unit, Dipset. I mean, the list goes on. It's a lot. I've grown up around music, so that's all I've really been about since I was young. So, I got a lot of
Yeah,
musical influence.
definitely. And Sonny, I picked up a vibe. I don't like to ever compare artists, but when I do, it's more successful standpoint. And
Mm-hmm.
I like to say you're already there. You say, oh well, when I make it, made it. You are very much so likes of the people you just mentioned. Kendrick Lamar is what I heard. Jay-Z, Tupac, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Nas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was a big Nas fan when I was a kid too. Yep, yep.
A real dope MC. So talk to us about what your creative process is like, because you're creating amazing sounds, and along with the producers, of course, alike. So what is Sonny's creative process like?
It's really simple. I link up with Solitaire a lot. He always jokes about this. He'll play a beat, and if I instantly like start kind of mumbling to it or rapping to it, he knows. All right, this is for him. So it's really just about what catches my attention. If it's a beat I necessarily like, I go towards it. If there's like a song I may hear on the radio, I'm kind of influenced or inspired by it. I'll write something to it, and then I may take it and use it for a whole nother song. So it's really a lot of different ways. I don't need much. I don't need like drugs or anything like that. Like I'm pretty much, you know, already in the creative space as it is. So, yeah, I just have fun at the end of the day. This is what
Absolutely.
I love to do. So,
Yeah. Well, it definitely exudes from your music and your sound. Uh, the word comes to mind, humility. What's the first thing that you think of when I say that word, humility?
That's a good question. So it's nothing wrong with being confident. I feel like I'm a very confident individual, but understanding that the talent and the skill you have is from a higher place and it can be taken away at any moment. So I that's what I think of when I think of humility. Even you can be a billionaire, even though it may not seem like it, you can lose some billions in a day. Just understand that, the blessings you have can be taken away just as quick. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
You are also a co-host of a podcast as Potty by Nature. With
Oh, actually, ADHD podcast. That's our we play with little podcast names, but yeah. Shout out my homie Trey. He actually invited me on the show about 6 months ago. And again, I had no idea, how to host a podcast, but it's been probably one of the best experiences I've had, in 2020. Just being able to sit down, with a friend and just really talk music and the culture. So I enjoy it.
Well, I got a chance to hear episode, I think it was 22, correct? The other day, where
Yes.
you're talking about what's about to happen this week with Ashanti and Keisha Cole.
Yeah, man. They got my girl Keisha messed up, man. Like Keisha ain't out here singing, ain't got these hits, but
Yeah, Keisha has been singing for a very long time. I mean, you talk about going back to Tupac days. She was
yes.
young in the booth,
I,
so
I think people forget that. Yeah.
I would have to agree.
She's from Oakland too, right? And
Yeah,
she from exactly, yeah.
she's from Oakland. I don't know her personally, but just yeah, she's from the town. And I think she's now out there in the South. So she has
Hmm.
grown a lot. So I enjoyed the podcast with you
I'm
guys.
riding with Keisha regardless, so
Okay, you gonna be watching?
oh yeah, I got to.
Yeah, that was good. So how would you evaluate, let me go back and say this because so many people view or evaluate themselves, and it definitely is important to do so.
Hmm.
As an artist, to critique oneself constructively, I think it's important. But we know that we are on these platforms, and there are some people who, of course, I would like to say it nicely, smoke and mirrors.
Hmm.
But important it is, of course, for you to protect your brand, but still, of course, continue to motivate, push yourself while
Yeah.
you're sharing this amazing music that you are. Yes.
Again, I like to attribute to just having fun at the end of the day. I think sometimes, I know me personally, I have a tendency to overthink my
Hmm.
music and overthink certain things. And that's when, it gets complicated. So I really just try to, just like I said, at the end of the day, I'm doing what I love. So I just I try to push that narrative. I try to just, stay in the element and, yeah, just not overthink it. Just have fun, because I think a lot of times, it hinders our growth when we kind of just overcompensate. So I just, like I said, I don't want to put that impression out there like I'm just trying to do too much. Like I'm trying to be me at the end of the day. I don't want to be like that person or the next person. I'm Sonny at the end of the day, and I'm cool with that.
Absolutely. Well, how would you say you maintain that self motivation? Because there's a lot of us, artist to artist, we get down sometimes. We down ourselves and we doubt ourselves.
Yeah.
Piece and how get yourself back up when you are down.
Um. So my mom, just looking at her story and how she came up. My mom was extremely motivated. She went through a lot. She was a physical therapist, and she was one of the first Black people in her class to graduate. And
Hmm.
hearing her talk about how some of her white professors told her she wasn't gonna make it and how she should just drop out. So when I hear stories like that and look at how she persevered and got through all of that, I mean, it'd be blasphemous for me to just give up just because some people may not like what I do, or some people may not give me the recognition I feel I deserve. Like I feel like it'd be disrespectful to her. So I'm always motivated, and at the end of the day, I feel like I'm made to do music. So um, I don't feel like it's anything that's gonna stop me.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I think you're definitely purpose driven, Sonny, which is that's a big deal, to be. Um, what do you want people to know about you through your songs? I mean, you said a lot just now. A lot of people have these secret elements to their music, but what do you really want your fans and your new fans alike to know about Sonny Trill?
If it's something you love to do, no matter what people may say, no matter, you know, if people feel like it's not the right thing to do, if it's right in your heart, you need to do it.
Yes.
For a long time, I didn't pursue music because I was so worried about what people would say. You know, I was a straight A student in college. I was always a straight A student in high school, so people thought I would go the more scholastic route. So for a while, I you know, kind of hesitated on whether I wanted to pursue music or not because I was so worried about what other people would think. But at the same time, I was miserable.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it's anything I want people to get out of the music, it's that, you know, if this is what you love to do, keep doing it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, talk to me a little bit about the business, because, you know, I don't like to say the sound and the artistry is the easy part, but so many people like to just, you know, get in the booth and record, and a lot of people, of course, want to get signed and, you know, all that. So talk to us about the importance of performance rights organizations and copywriting your music.
Let me tell you something. For all those art, you see it every day. Artists that complain about, oh, my label not doing this, my label not doing that. If you guys don't put as much effort into the creative part as you do the business, you will not make it and you'll be broke. Let's think about all the movies we've seen with different black artists where it's always a situation where a label then took advantage of them or a manager then took advantage of them. It's because they don't know the business. So I feel like as much effort as you put into writing those lyrics and trying to promote them songs, you need to learn the business. You need to be signed up with BMI or ASCAP. You need to be making sure you're recouping all of the money that you're putting into the project. So um, definitely need to learn the business. It's so important. And also, too, you know, let's be 100% honest. You can't rap forever.
Right.
So, you know, if you know, God forbid, you know, your rap career ends, if you learn the business, you can still work in music even after you're done rapping. You know what I'm saying? You got other avenues that you can still make money because you know the business. So,
Yeah. Well, speaking of just this entertainment industry and in a whole, I mean, there's other parts of entertainment, right? So
mm-hmm,
it's a vast industry, if you will.
mm-hmm.
Where else do you see yourself going? I mean, as far as acting, modeling, fashion, what are
Yeah.
your?
So I got one of my best friends. He's a film director out here in Chicago, Jameis Hampton. Shout out to him.
Mm-hmm,
I used to tag along with him on plenty like film sets. So I think, you know, if I would have to go in another direction, be movies and television.
mm-hmm.
Behind the scenes stuff, nothing on screen, but you know, maybe writing for a TV show or putting together some things like that. It's something I'm really into actually.
Mm-hmm.
I really would like to get into that in the near future.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
think this when I first spoke with you.
Mm-hmm.
Important to share because I thought your answer. Of course, there's no wrong or right answer, but I enjoyed yours. Is it important to do what you love, Sonny, or to love what you do?
Both. Again, like I said, both. If you don't love what you do, I mean, 9 out of 10 you're gonna be miserable. And of course, you got to do what you love. You know, at the end of the day, it's really just like I said, it's about you. You know, how can you? And again, like we discussed before, I feel like it's a lot of artists that don't really love music. You know, they love the popularity and the fame and everything that comes with it. You can tell they don't really love to do music. And those are 9 times out of 10 the artists that aren't around for a very long time because they don't really have a love, they don't really have a passion for it. They don't want to put the work in every day to try and better themselves as artists. So they end up fading out. So I think it's always important to do what you love, you know.
Absolutely. Well, you know, we're in the middle of course, still, of course, a pandemic. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not really talking about COVID-19. I'm talking about the other pandemic, which has been existing for a very long time, racism.
Mm-hmm.
And you have, like I said, managed to create some great sounds, both conscious sounds, rock sounds. But talk to me about COVID-19 and this racial igniting of course, you know, Black Lives Matter, the movement, everything that has come about in the last year or so, and how it has impacted your creative process.
I know for a while I didn't want to put anything out. Because I have more of a fun vibe. Honestly, just seeing everything, you just wasn't in a creative mood,
Mm,
for a while. Uh, it's funny. I feel like everything happens for a reason. I honestly feel like if we weren't, all quarantined in the house, I don't think we'd be so fixated on the news and our phones. So some of these, things that happened with George Floyd and things like that may have gotten swept under the rug. So
mhm.
had we not had so much attention on, like I said, television and the media, this may have just been something that we just brushed off our shoulders and kept it moving. But I feel like everything happened, you know, um, in the right manner. We looked at what happened, at the Capitol, a
Great.
week or 2 weeks ago. Just over the summer, you had military, personnel in Washington D.C. because we were fighting, for our rights not to be killed. And
Mm,
then we see, white people, Trump supporters, literally taking over a government building with little to no type of response whatsoever. And it's just funny when people say that racism doesn't exist, and we have all these examples, and people still continue to ignore it. So I try to, I'm definitely aware, and I pay attention to it, but sometimes I'll admit I do have to unplug from it because it's extremely mentally exhausting and it's draining. And I like I said, I sometimes I gotta take a break from it. You know what
yeah,
I mean? So but I do, like I said, I'm a hopeful individual. I do hope that some type of progress will be made after what we've seen in the past year. But at the same time, I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And because I think if we were all working, our normal jobs and making music and doing everything that we do, functioning and focusing on family, we would not have seen this. I mean,
I think it would have got swept under the rug.
literally.
Honestly, it would have just been, oh, another one, okay, and then keep it moving.
Yeah, yeah. And now they're asking, I think I saw yesterday, they're asking for pardons, those who have been. So it's just like,
It's crazy. Like I said, it's we all know it. It's two Americas,
yeah,
and it is funny when people try to say there isn't two Americas. We constantly see these images that proves there are two Americas. So I mean, it's just at the end of the day, America obviously has a past. It's like a toxic relationship. I always compare it to that. Until that person is willing to admit accountability for their actions, that relationship is never going to work. They're never going to be able to move forward and heal. So it's the same thing with America. It's no different.
America. Yes, I like that analogy. So you're saying America with a C and America with a K.
America with a K, absolutely.
So yeah, that's crazy. And that's a whole nother interview for another day. So
Right. Yeah, we can talk all day about that. Trust me.
just craziness. So tell me this, how do you feel the internet has impacted the music industry?
Oh, greatly actually. It's so funny. Labels. I mean, I think that's why you see labels, taking the approach they have to like streaming to encourage like, oh yeah, stream, stream, stream. They all own stake in the streaming services, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times, maybe 10, 15 years ago, in order to get your music out there, you had to go to a label. Now you have a device in your hand that can reach millions of people, and you ain't got to walk into no office or no building to do it. So I feel like there's so much power that artists have now that they didn't have before. But at the same time, with that type of power, you need responsibility. So I do feel like sometimes the internet is used to kind of, create like a toxic environment as far as like, we see the different artists going in, going at it with each other and things like that. So, I mean, just as much as there's good, there's also bad. But I definitely think we have an opportunity as artists to really take control of our careers, and that whole being taken advantage of should be over with. Honestly, it's really no reason to even deal with a label if you know your business. So
Absolutely. And that's one thing I do like about you, Sonny, in your sound, you definitely deliver a lot. You're talking, of course, which is good. I love a shit talker, you
oh
know,
yeah,
when it comes to hip hop.
oh
Um,
yeah,
but
got to.
I also like that you are logical. Your logic is keen, I should
Mm-hmm.
say. You definitely talk about how important it is not to listen to naysayers and to, what I'm saying, to build and to motivate yourself and just kind of like keep all your eyes on God. I think that's
Absolutely.
the most important thing. So how do you relax outside of the studio when you're not, what are you doing?
So I played sports growing up. So I play basketball. You know. Yeah, yeah.
What did you play?
Point guard.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
All
And
right.
so I actually I tore my Achilles in the spring playing basketball, so I was down for a little bit. But I'm good now. I'm almost 100%. So I'm back on the court, you know, shooting around and stuff. So, and then spending time with family.
Yeah.
I'm really family oriented. Me and my siblings were super close. So when I'm not doing that, I'm spending time with them. So I got a lot of nieces and nephews. So I'm the
Hmm.
favorite uncle. So just spending time with the fam.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me, as far as when you go, of course, before COVID, I should say, when you were to go to a venue or see a favorite artist at a concert, what does Sonny look for? Not just, of course, you're seeing this famous person or this mainstream artist, but what are you listening for and watching for when they're up on the stage?
I think the main thing is rapping over vocals. That's like a big pet peeve of mine.
Hmm.
I feel like a lot of rappers now they all rap over their vocals, and that's not really a performance in my opinion. So I look for that. I look at the lighting. I'm really fascinated by the lighting. Live bands are really really dope to me. That's something that I actually want to explore in the
Yeah.
near future. Rocking out with a live band. But it's pretty much that showmanship. I look to see if they work the crowd, if they move back and forth across the stage, if they make eye contact, just little things like that, things that I can take and apply it to my own performance. So
So talk about venues you've performed at prior, of course, COVID-19.
Jesus, I performed at Jesus, sub. I performed at Sub T, The Wire,
Wow.
Blue 26,
Hmm.
Green Dolphin is an old venue in Chicago. It's a lot. I could be naming all day, but I performed at pretty much 70% of the venues in Chicago. So I've done quite a few shows.
I saw that post you were posting with Kendrick Lamar. Talk to us about the event that was taking place there.
So that was the Damn tour actually. I got a guy I went to high school with. He got me and my brother tickets, and so we got a chance to actually go backstage and meet him and chop it up with him for a little bit. So that's probably one of the highlights of my life. Like I said, I'm a huge Kendrick fan.
That's not just chopping it up. I mean, that's literally not coincidence. I don't
Yeah.
coincidences. So what an amazing.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, it was a game changer for me. I feel like I was different after that.
of course,
Yeah.
on some dope energy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Would you say it's harder to get started, Sonny, or is it harder to keep going?
That's a good question. I think for me it was harder to get started.
Mm,
Because like I said, I was really worried about, what everybody would say with me, not wanting to pursue, school or whatever and just, pursuing music. So it was harder for me to get started. And I think that's why it's so hard for me to stop as well.
mm,
It's like, I really, told my family this is what I want to do. So if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna see it through to the end. So, um, yeah, it was a lot hard for me to take that leap. But once I took the leap, I was good. I feel like there's no turning back now.
yeah, absolutely. You mentioned family. Who in the family has this talent aside from yourself?
So I mean, my brothers were all athletes, of
Okay.
course. So they were all athletes. I got a brother. My brother Scott. He produces. But other than that, not really. Everybody else, they smart. They
Yeah,
work regular jobs. But definitely, like I said, we're a sports family. So everybody was athletes in my family. That's what we did.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's well, with the industry, of course, this is a life industry. So yes, it's definitely it can change your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I listen and watch, Cato the producer a lot. I definitely listen to a lot of what he has to share with us.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that influenced me when it comes to saying, I work with anybody that has a shit character. Um,
Absolutely.
Care how high up you are, who you are, how much money you have. I don't vibe with the shittiness.
I'm the same way.
I love that.
I'm the same way.
So talk about what you would change about the industry today if you could change one thing.
Oh, perfect. So a lot of times you hear about artists getting taken advantage of when it comes to contracts and things like that. And then the excuse is always, oh, well, that's his business.
Mm.
I think it's kind of weird how, being deceitful or lacking morals is considered business. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's other black executives doing it to younger black artists. That some just doesn't sit well with me like that. If you know this artist, isn't knowledgeable about something or is uneducated about something, why would you take advantage of them? Just because it's quote unquote the business.
Yes.
I just that just never sat well with me. So if I can change one thing, I would really change, how business is done. I shouldn't have to take advantage of you, you know what I'm saying, for it to be considered, oh, it's just business. No, that ain't right. Right is right, wrong is wrong at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? For me to take advantage of somebody that doesn't know better, what type of person does that make me?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I really wish I could change that. I'm trying to change that. So
You are changing it. If it even whether it be one person or 100 people, if one person listens and realizes that they can do exactly what you're doing as an indie artist,
mm-hmm.
And contributing to the game as such, I think it definitely will help change. But yeah, I mean, there's so many executives alike, and not just in music, just in business, right?
The business period, yeah.
They want to take advantage of people that just don't know.
That just don't know, yeah.
You mentioned it earlier. It's crucial to learn. I mean, YouTube University. Hello.
That and that's another thing too. It's not again. Don't get me wrong. I feel like it is wrong to get taken advantage of, but again, a lot of this information you can just look up on the internet. All of this information you can look up on the internet. So it's no excuse to not be educated on the business when all the information is out there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So
I'm going to mention 3 words to you, and I want you to tell me what comes to mind first.
Okay.
Manifestation.
My coach used to always say, you got to see it to believe it. Mm-hmm. If you don't believe in yourself, who else is going to believe in you? So I always think you need to manifest, your goals and what you want to do. Because, like I said, if don't nobody else believe in you, you got to believe in yourself. So,
motivation. I think it goes hand in hand, but I'll see what you motivate.
Yeah. No, we all have our little things that we use to motivate us. Mine is always, a mindset of feeling like I could be doing more or feeling, underrated at times. So, always try and find something to motivate you. You know what I'm saying? Find a reason to keep going. So
monetization.
Oh, go and get all the money you can. There's so many. Hey, look, there's so many ways you can monetize your music. Not just with shows and not just with streaming. There's a lot of ways to make money from movies and television. Song placement and things like that. It's a way to really make a comfortable living without ever having to be like this huge superstar. You know what I'm saying? So find different ways to monetize your music. You know what I'm saying? Find different ways to monetize your YouTube, things like that. So
yeah, I was listening to Tommy Z the other day. He is actually a big fan of music houses. And a lot of people realize they're all over the world. It's like houses sit and just make for commercial. All they do.
Mm-hmm.
Look for people like you, or me, anybody who has some type of a creative, background, that whether you want to lyrically participate or productive, like whether it be your production. And the Nike, all these places, Reebok, and they'll give you, $100,000, for the whole year or two just to be playing.
And that's the thing, it's so many different ways. It's so, like I said, so many of these companies are looking for music. You know what I mean? And it's good money. It's consistent. You know what I'm saying? So like, why not explore those other avenues? Because you can take that money and put it right back into yourself. So I mean, just learn. Again, that goes along with learning the business as well, though, too. Finding different ways, where you can, utilize your talents to, bring the money right back. Because we're spending a lot of money on studio sessions, on promo. Like, why not, get that money back?
Well, talk to us about protecting your brand, Sonny Trill. How do you protect your
brand? It's fun. I try to stay away from the bullshit. I know it sounds cliche, but all the, the shade room gossip and all that, like stuff like that, and getting into it with different art. I know a lot of artists pursue that avenue in order to get notoriety and things like that. That's just never been me. So honestly, I just be myself at the end of the day. That's how I protect my brand. I'm not trying to be the toughest guy. I'm not trying to, have different women. Like, I'm just myself at the end of the day. Like, that's all I'm gonna get to you.
So do you dabble into production? I mean, are you producing too?
So my my OG has gotten me down to the point where he's like, all right, if you're gonna be here, you're gonna get on these boards, you're gonna learn to engineer, you're gonna learn to do everything. So I'm in the early steps of trying to, dibble and dabble on both of those. So
I can see that. I mean, because
yeah.
important to know what's going on now, you know.
Yeah, no, my OG stay on me about it all, but I appreciate him for it though.
Exactly. So who else besides, of course, who you've met, would you like to collaborate with?
Definitely Travis Scott.
Mm.
Definitely Kendrick. This is gonna sound funny. I love to do a song with like Taylor Swift.
Okay, I love Taylor.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely would do something with Taylor. And it's a Chicago artist that's real big out here named Bump J. He's like one of my biggest like inspirations as well. I'd love it if I do a collab with him. Like I feel like I've made it. So yeah.
Well, I like, of course, again, the whole indie movement. Talk to, again, the generation behind you. Talk to them about creating.
Yeah, for all the artists that, complain about, or you see artists complaining about, the label, wanting to be, a certain way or make a certain kind of music. That's why it's so important to, one, learn the business, because if you stay independent, you have all that control. Whatever you do musically, all that money comes back to you. You're not, worrying about 4 or 5 different hands in the pot at one time. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that money comes back to you. You pretty much have control of your own destiny. So if you want that type of, career, go independent. You know what I'm saying? Learn the business, put the work in.
So are you against signing if it's, say, if the money is right, and of course you get to keep your government name and your state?
The only type of signing I would do is if, I had my own label and we did like a partnership or a distribution deal. Only if the money is right. But that's probably the only type of thing I would sign. Other than that, I just don't feel like it's necessary.
Not in these days, and I think Nipsey Hussle talked about it, and Master P continues to talk about it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I used to start like I look at Top Dog from TDE a lot. I follow him a lot, and just seeing what he's done with that label. He signed Kendrick and Schoolboy and all them when they were, 16 years old, and he's taking those, and you see how much they've grown since then. Like, and now he's got a huge distribution deal with Interscope now. So I feel like that's the more ideal path as opposed to just signing away everything.
Absolutely. So would you say, just in life in general, whether it be with your music or in decisions you make, are you ever worried about doing things right or doing things wrong? What are you most concerned about?
I want to make sure I do things right, because at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. So of course, you may do some things wrong. You may make some mistakes. But it's all about correcting those mistakes and doing things the right way. So, I mean, of course, I'm gonna mess up. I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. So, I mean, I'm not really worried about. I used to be though. I used to be like, oh, I can't mess up. I can't mess up. But now that I've matured a little bit, I understand like mistakes are gonna happen. You just got to make sure you correct them and then move forward and get better.
Absolutely. So what's next? What's next for Sonny Trill? I mean, are we going to expect some videos hopefully after all of this COVID and all this stuff calms? And
Yeah, I got a video for Finesse coming. We just booked the location, so that's on the way. I got, of course, like I said, the collab project with RichDaPitt. It's called Trill Print. I'm really excited about that. We got a couple visuals in the works for that project, and then probably later in the year I'm gonna drop another album called Heartbreak Trill. So I got my whole year planned out. I got a lot of work to do, but I'm
yeah,
ready for it.
well, I'm excited. I'm excited for what's to come. I could see a great future for you, a long
Thank you.
career, I should say.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's incredible music. Like I said, I went all through your discography. I'm sure I'm still discovering some more sounds, even from your 2018 LP, the album.
Yeah, Trill Smith, that's my baby.
So yeah, I like Dash. I like 24/7. There's a few that I just, was vibing to. So
Appreciate that.
the energy of having you on. So take us out and tell everybody where they can find you, aside from Instagram, and where we can find your music.
So I got a Bandcamp website. So if you go on Bandcamp and search Sonny Trill, you'll find my album, all my singles, and all of my freestyles that I've done. So yeah, definitely go check those out. Other than that, like I said, reach out to me on Instagram or Twitter. Follow me, I follow back. I'm a very personable person. Say what's up. I'm gonna say what's up back. So yeah, just reach out to me. Whatever. I'm not like, fancy where I don't respond to, messages and things like that. So just get at me.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time on a Sunday. I thank everybody for tuning in again. Thank you so much for introducing me to this amazing artist.
Yeah, shout out my girl Caitlin, man. And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you having me on. And for asking me really good questions and not the typical questions that all other people ask me. So really appreciate that.
Absolutely. I'd like to, like I told you, face behind the brand. I want to know about the person behind the face. We see everything so front forward.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I know there's a lot behind who you are, and that's the first emotional organ, like I told you, we see.
Yeah. It's not a lot of times I get a chance to really, like I said, articulate in interviews outside the cookie cutter questions. So like I said, I really appreciate you for having me on.
We'll do it again because I know you got a lot going on. So I appreciate you.
Definitely. And I'll be on the West Coast over the summer, so I'll definitely tap in with you when I get out there.
Yeah. Something's done.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Okay. Take it easy, okay?
All right, thank you so much.
Peace.
Bye-bye.